topic, what type of question, and the cognitive level. And then if they are not satisfied with this skill method, they can always go back and answer it again to adjust, and the skill meter will actually change accordingly. Okay, so this one is for the groups. Okay, so one collaborative group, you can see your own performance and also rest of the teammates' performance. So the future work, we're going to continue this project, and it will be implemented in your templates, inshallah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, start with the start with Q&A. Any other questions or issues? Yeah, that need to be arise.
At the meantime, as in your templates.
Any other questions? Okay, we can start with the next presentation. Thank you very much. I invite the Anita Muhammad Yasin, Muhammad Ali Muhammad Isa, and Nur Adora Endu, with the title of Interactive Professor Storybook Using Augmented Reality.
Yes, a very good day. My name is Nur Adora Endu, and I'm from the Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences at Sha'ana. So I'll be presenting paper title Interactive Profit Storybook Using Augmented Reality on behalf of my colleagues Anita Muhammad Yasin and Muhammad Ali Muhammad Isa. Right? So perhaps augmented reality is not already familiar, probably the most famous one from the well-known component of AR. The simplest definition is the combination of real and virtual objects in a real environment. So this is basically a little bit different compared to virtual reality, where you are inside a virtual environment, having a wearable device. So perhaps most famous example recently, if you've seen probably Google's founder, Sergey Brin, wearing the Google Glass, and from the Google Glass, you'll be able to see your surroundings, but also see, for example, the weather report on the location that you are in. Right? So the technology AR itself is not new. Basically, it has been researched since 1960s, right? However, its application in the education realm has been explored for only the past 2 decades. And these are some of the more recently research about the adoption of AR into education. So some of the issues in terms of integrating it with the traditional learning methods are the cost for the development and also the maintenance of the AR system, and also the resistance to new technologies. So those are some of the reasons cited why it has not been adopted earlier inside education. Right. So, however, having said that, we see from the last decade there has been a significant increase in cost for digital and mobile devices. Everywhere we see that younger and younger children having digital and mobile devices around them, probably, and also for killing time, right? Okay, so basically we are moving towards a new pedagogical paradigm, digital one, and we start from Jean Piaget's belief that the aim of education is basically an intellectual and moral autonomy or independence, the ability to decide for themselves, especially among young children, and also constructivism, right? And according to Billinghurst, where this person introduced the first playbook or a digital playbook, AR encourages people's, or especially young children, interactivity and collaboration. So starting from that, we found it interesting to construct a book having augmented reality technology. So this is the steps that we have taken to develop the book, and I will explain more about the steps, right? So first is the storyboard development. So the story that we have chosen is based on the Prophet's storybook. Okay, it's called Cinta Rasul for Kids. So it's a compilation of stories of our Islamic prophets, and we have selected the life journey of Prophet Sulaiman. And from the storybook, we have selected the correct characters and assigned a different action to associate their roles in the scenes for the storybook. So individual action for each of the characters to be animated inside the augmented reality marker. The next step is basically to develop the 3D modeling and also the animation. So for this purpose, the development tool has been chosen is Blender. It's a free and open source 3D computer graphics software, right? So basically we constructed them from the wireframe and also developed into the animation according to the selected storyboard or characters that we have chosen. Okay, and this system is basically a marker-based. So augmented reality applications are usually either marker-based or markerless. So marker-based uses well-known markers for a camera from devices to detect the individual characters. So we have embedded the marker inside the storybook, and then a device having a camera is able to detect all these markers and project all the character animations, right? So from that prototype that we have developed, we have basically tried to do an observational study. So it's not basically a very constructed experiment. We just engage the feedback, and the audience that we have selected are randomly selected from children, preschool age children, aged 5 to 6 years old. Right. So bear in mind, this is not a very constructed experiment, so we have not constructed an experiment to properly analyze the effectiveness. But in terms of overall functionality, it's found that more than half of the children have accepted that it is functional in terms of having to interact with the storybook, right? In terms of effectiveness, again, we have found a large percentage of the children agree that it is very easy to understand the content of the storybook. However, a little portion of them disagree about the content and cited that there is a lack of story flow of the story. And lastly, I'd like to highlight that all of the children agreed that they are confident in using the system. This is probably due to the learning curve or digital mobile devices that they find it easy. And with the level of confidence to use that system, that's probably easy for them to adopt in everyday learning. And again, this is in relation to the ability of the student to be independent, alright, having autonomy to experience in themselves whatever that they have read, right? Okay. So in conclusion, AR is a very attractive field to create meaningful experiences in learning, right? And from the observational study itself, the prototype managed to turn a traditional and historical prophet storybook, which is a very abstract concept because it's not in our age, into a new interactive and engaging experience. And this motivates our exploration or further exploration to the development of the storybook series for preschool age children. And I agree that a more constructed experiment to study the overall effectiveness of AR and its adoption into education should be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can you show an example? The prototype is not here. I cannot show it. It's basically a storybook having a marker.
What marker? What do you mean by marker?
Marker is basically on the page itself, and we put something.
Logo.
Yes, logo. It usually is black and white because it's easy for the camera to identify, but it can also be made into a a very colorful one to make it seamless. But it's basically something for a camera to detect.
Camera means like a mobile.
Yeah. Usually it used to be a webcam. Now we have there are many applications using having camera, then you can.
So you don't need to have an internet.
No, it's an app. It's a software embedded.
So you have to download this Blender.
No, the Blender is used to develop the animation, and then we're going to integrate it using Flash to make it an animation, and then put it inside the software. So the software is basically to integrate the usage of the camera to detect the marker.
That blender.
Yes.
Blender is a software.
Blender is the name of the software. Blender is basically to develop the animation. It's not to develop the app. It's basically one of the components of developing the app. Do you have pictures of videos?
That's why I was. Or you want to patent this so you can show. Copyright.
Thank you. Any other questions? For
Is the animation 3D? No, not 3D. It's projected on the device itself.
Oh, projected on the device.
So if you can imagine you having the camera and open the. Is it on your own mobile? It's not on my own mobile. It's on my the first office mobile.
So do you, let's say if you move your device, would it still be there?
As long as we have a book and the device can be anywhere 360, and as long as it's on the marker, it's about 500 meters.
500 meters.
Sorry, not 500 meters.
That is very far.
It's very far, 15 meters.
15 meters.
50,
50.
1 5.
1 5. Okay.
As long as the camera can concentrate on the marker.
Do you know about other like Web 2.0 augmented reality apps?
Yeah, actually there are a lot of educational apps now, but actually what we have highlighted here is basically we select Islamic learning materials. Actually there are already augmented reality. For example, you have apps for translation and also educational book, and chemistry is like that. So we project a mobile device, and as long as we have the book having the marker, so we can do animation on that particular book.
How long?
It's based on the pages. It's 50 pages.
It will be soon in the market.
Of
Not
course,
provoking so that you faster and you know.
yeah, it's very attractive, especially
For the kids.
there are for books, but it's not for like Islamic type of story books.
English book.
but it's not limited to that books only, right?
It is for that book. It is for that book because it's storyboard, and we have to incorporate that marker for a particular book.
But if you want to go to the version,
We have to develop another
one.
series. If it's marker based, it's like that. If you have apps in the market, it's markerless. So it's real time. That means we project the camera into the environment that we can do whatever app is possible. For example, you have iTranslate, where you have signboards where you go probably the signboard kedai tu we don't know what it means, so we project it on the camera on the signboard, then it will display probably in Spanish, it will display in English. So it's already in the market, it's type of augmented reality, but usually it's not into education, and if it's into education, usually it's chemistry, things like that. Not
Just
yet.
like the catalog.
Did you apply for the system?
Basically, we give the students to develop animation. The watching the blender is the students. If we can conduct right now, there are a few 5 students developing each different. We have dinosaur, we have storybook, but if we are confident enough to present in a more physical structure, then yes.
Thank you very much for the very interesting presentation. Okay. Next, I will invite the presentation from the Felix Singh team, Muhammad Nur Azhar Mazdan and Kiran Sam Hong, with the title of the development of different tutoring system, example tracking approach. And let's start.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Chairperson. Like mentioned by the Chairperson, the purpose of our sharing is so that we can share what we have done and also receive some suggestions to improve on what we are doing. So I'm doing a research on differentiation intelligent tutoring system. So the idea is about intelligent tutoring system, example tracing tutor approach. The purpose is to apply into learning of differentiation. So the outline of my sharing will be looking at the scenario on learning calculus, motivation, the literature review that I've done, some simple literature review, the objective of this presentation, and then the overview of the system I'm trying to develop, and the working of the system from example tracing tutor approach. Most of audience are lecturers, but I'm not sure how many are teaching subject related to mathematics or calculus. No. Okay, so but some of you might have taken the subject calculus because this is a common subject in whole. Yeah, long time ago. But what is the experience? What is the experience? Okay, that's the experience, and these are the scenario that students are facing. What you have faced last time and what they are facing now is still going on. Right? They are still students are like what we have experienced long time ago. Right? So they are scared of the subject also, and they don't really like to learn this subject. So after they learn it, they like to forget about it. Okay? So this is what we are trying to overcome. So what is the relationship between the calculus subject and differentiation that I'm trying to focus in? So differentiation, derivative, and calculus are actually quite closely related. So in secondary school, we don't call the students learning calculus. Normally, we start off with learning differentiation. So from differentiation, later on, they will move up to calculus. So if they are good in differentiation, so when they go up to higher level, it's easier for them to adapt and to learn the subject. So my focus is on the secondary school for 4 students. We try to help this group of students in learning differentiation, so that when they go up into diploma or university level in the first degree, they don't have to be scared of this subject. Right? And the reason why we want to do this, I think basically most of us agree that when we learn these things or when students learn these things, they just cannot comprehend the concept behind it. And then they can't see the process because differentiation involves a few steps in doing the mathematical process. Okay? And then compound by the approach that the teachers are using in school. We are using, mostly teachers are still teacher-centered. Not like in university, now we are encouraging blended learning. We are trying to incorporate more of IT into learning. But in secondary school, these are still a bit away from what we have. So most of the classes are still teacher-centered. And teachers, the classes are big. 1 teachers to about 35 and above students. So it's difficult to provide personalized teaching, right? So from there, lack of practice because so many students in one class, and when the teacher gives the exercise, they are not able to monitor them all at one time. So some students do one question, see the teacher very far, don't know what to do. See the teacher very far, don't know what to do. So just wait there, no feedback, no guidelines. So 40 minutes class ended. So they didn't get any learning done. Right? And these are some of the comments regarding from the XPM examination board regarding the results on additional marks on differentiation. So from here, differentiation, as they move into calculus, these are some of the readings that I've got, that calculus is considered a high failure course in undergraduates level. Many students fail calculus courses at tertiary level. So what we are my sharing today is trying to propose a development of intelligent tutoring system based on example tracing tutor approach. Now, for the purpose of learning differentiation in additional maths for Form 4 students, and I would like to name this system as DIF, right? Differentiation Intelligent Tutoring System. Now, what is Intelligent Tutoring System? This one, the systems have been around, the idea has been around for about a decade plus, right? But it's not fully developed here in Malaysia. It's a computer software actually, but it's just trying to be a human teacher, right? Trying to imitate a human tutor by personalizing the instruction based on the background and the progress of each individual learner. Right? Just like trying to provide one-to-one tutoring. Now it contains artificial intelligent component. In my case, I'm trying to put a pseudo AI in, pseudo AI. It is able to track students' work and then giving them feedback and hint along the way. Making inferences about the strength and weakness and also suggest additional words for the students. Now, example of existing intelligent tutoring system that are available online now. If you are interested, you can go and see Animal Watch. This is one which is for a curriculum in US for learning mathematics, arithmetics. And we have also one ITS which is quite popular for learning physics, which is called NDES. And there is quite a lot of other ITS which is mostly developed in the Western country. So why do we propose this is to overcome the problem in learning differentiation like that I've projected before this. Now, trying to provide computerized one-to-one tutoring. Providing tutorial and exercise in the process with feedbacks and hints along the way. And focusing both procedural and conceptual knowledge on differentiation and providing self-paced learning. This is what we are trying to provide in the 21st century learning. So the overview of the system, when students log in, we will have a progress report page. This one is to tell the students that these are the skills that they are supposed to learn. And these are the area where they can go click in to go to the lesson that they are learning. So overview, I will have 3 parts, which is tutorial, where they will receive learning lesson. Then they will have exercises for them to do. This is where they will get feedback and hints along the way. And mastery is to test them, see whether they have mastered the skill needed before they can progress to the next skill. So each student will have to complete 3 stars before they can move on to the next skill. Right? So this is also incorporating the learning theory of mastery. Right? So these are the legend that they will receive to tell them where they are. Okay. General layout of the system after the students forward from the report page, they will receive this. Here we will have the same thing, only this is in words and indicating where they are. This is the working space, general workspace, and this is where they will receive hints and guides. These are the plannings that we have. Now, when they go into the tutorial, these are the tutorial for DYDX. They will receive lesson regarding the notes that they are, the formula that they are to use. But this one we will try to show in animation. Because this is static, so it's the same as when teacher teach in class, teacher will show it in static form. So including the example, it will be in static, but what we do is we try to animate it so that students can see the process that is involved. So example is a simple animation. We are trying to show this. How do the process end up? example animations. And then for the conceptual understanding, beside the example of just now, y equal to 6x squared, after you derive, it becomes dy dx equal to 12x. So beside that, we are going to show a graph of y equal to 6x squared, and then this is the effects of the dy dx. So the exercises. In the exercise section, this is where the intelligence will come in. We will apply what we call as example tracing tutor approach. In this example tracing tutor approach, what we do is the tutor will evaluate the student's behavior by flexibly comparing what the student did against a generalized one, the one that we have put into the system. So we will have a lot of workings already inside the system. And then once the students give an answer, it will compare. If it is the same with the one we have put into the system, then it will recognize this as the correct move. If the answer is totally different from all the acceptable answer given, then the system will provide some hint for them to go on. So this approach is capable of sophisticated tutoring behavior, and we can provide step-by-step guidance. Now, we use authoring tutor as tools, which we download from a site called Cognitive Tutor Authoring Tool, CTAT. You can download it. It's an open source tool that we can use to build it. So we have approached this behavior, the behavior that we have, the example of all the answers they have. We record it in what we call as a behavior graph. And then we can generalize the behavior graph and then use it inside the tutor. The steps that we use is we have to design the interface, and then we record the behavior graph, and then we have to test the tutor. So this is an example. Now, like I said, we are here to share. So we are up to the design phase, and we are still currently trying to design how are we going to show the question, and how are we going to get feedback from the students, how we want to show the questions. So the approach that we want to use is using what we see is what we get. Right? So like this, y equal to x to the power of 3, find the first derivative of the following function. So what is the dy dx? So we try to put it in this way. This is one approach. So there will be hint. If the students cannot answer, they can click the hint, and we will show them the formula with the animation for them to refresh them on how they use the formula. This is another question. Y equal, this is, you need to use a formula we call product rule for differentiation. X plus 2 multiplied by x squared minus 3. So this one we are trying to use this approach using the product rule formula. One is equal to U and one is equal to V. So students have to recognize it. Which one? Then the formula is here. Students were able to fill up this one. So all these things, as the student fill up, it will be compared with the behavior graph. This is an example of a behavior graph for the first question, y equal to x to the power of 3. So there's multiple ways that student can approach the answer. So all these are recorded in the behavior graph. So and then straight from the behavior graph, the system will compare and straight away give feedback. So if, for example, students feel after dy dx, the power is still 3. Once they put 3, it automatically detects it is a mistake. So student cannot continue on until corrections. Same with this one. If they get correct, the feedback is green. Means students know they are right. If red, means wrong. So they have to do something. So if they are not sure, they can click the hint to get some ideas on how to correct it. So our challenges is how to design the interface so that it is effective, right? And then creating the comprehensive behavior graph for each of the questions. And our further work is to complete the development of the proposed prototype. And then in the end, we will include the mastery section for evaluation. Right? So, like we said, we are trying to come up with things so that we can help students in learning. So this is our target. We want every student to be happy, jump in and out with the difficult subject, and trying not to forget it, but also still remember after 20 years. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. We open with the Q&A, question and answer. Questions?
Any suggestions?
Question or
Is that
suggestion?
your animation,
Yes.
your animation that you use? Is there any narration?
Not at the moment. We are not thinking of putting in a narration because of the voice. The voice we have to go and record. So you may have to find a suitable person for the voice to record it.
What is suitable?
In the sense that our language, I mean, when we want to say y equal to x to the power of 3, divide the x equal to 2, and so on. So we need to find people to record these things. So I think our focus is to try to just, maybe in future, we will try to see if we include all and we have to deal with other difference. But for the time being, we just want to complete this one. They might,
Because we try to accommodate the students learning one of the learning styles.
yeah, yes, auditory, yes, correct. That is a good suggestion.
Any other question or suggestions? If not, I have one. We just for improvement. Because from my I can see from your animations, right? And you said that most of the way dealing with the teenager, right?
Yes.
Because they are in secondary 4, right?
Yes.
So I see that the presentation is a bit less catchy for them. It's too formal, like look at it's
Yeah.
you need something like that will attract this teenage at this age, because it's more towards the like researcher.
Very academic.
Very academic.
Schema.
So this is just improvement. It's something that will attract their attention.
We'll try to think of how.
Animations and dividing axis now.
Even in the class, actually, you can also use your students, the exercise. Let's say you want to show to solve a problem, a calculus problem.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, you can actually show them how to solve it by recording your, you solve it, you record. At the same time, you record your voice and you record how do you solve it step by step.
I mean, a video.
No, you just use, the Web 2.0 tool we are working, for example, like education. It's a whiteboard where you can actually do your problem solving there, exercise, and then at the same time you record every step and you narrate. And then you can just give them that link so that the students can actually access it anytime, anywhere.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much. With your very interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, we start with another presenter, which is Rajini Balakrishnan, with the research title with the mobile learning effective integration of the new technologies into existing models.
everyone. I'm Rajamin. I'm a civil lecturer from
It's peaceful.
civil lecturer from University KL. Right, I left my job to do this full time. Okay, this is nothing so great about what other presenters have done. Mine is only in starting phase actually. So it is the mobile learning effective integration of new technology into existing model. So what makes me to choose this is in our universities, most of us are exposed to LMS, in where we are like one semester we are given 4 subjects. In that, we assign the learning content or materials we post it to them, and then the assessment when they have to upload their assignments, they tend to come back and say that I didn't know the due date is such and such, and the link is closed, and this triggers now how to make them really aware of this link exists and it's closing by tonight 12 o'clock, something like that. Then they find it like quite hard when it comes to subject matter to log into the learning management system to get things. So to catch their attention, it's like it's putting the mobile into their learning, and it's like most important critical information is sent to them. For example, like the social networking, every morning when they wake up, the first thing they do is they on their phone and then they check their WhatsApp, they update their status in Facebook, and then they snap, this is how I look this morning, and this is what I had for my breakfast. So this is the younger generation, the IT savvy generation. So it comes to like we have to notify to them through this social networking that the link exists. You can do up your pop quiz. You can go and get your tutorial or video which you missed last week lecture. So these are the things which actually me and my supervisor, after talking, we said okay, we are going to do this. Right. So this is an overview of things covered in this presentation, and we all know that learning actually occurs from the first day that we are born until the last day that we are going to the graveyard. And we are learning nevertheless in any form actually, right? When our lecturers are teaching the gestures, the behavior, anything that we see. But now, this mobile is actually freeing our eyes. The gadget, for example, we have a very important motivation talk from, let's say, Dr. Buena, right? And we want to like capture the lecture or motivation talk, and we want to rewind a few times and listen it in the audio, right? If that can be done with the motivational speaker internationally, we can do it also in our lecture. When we are doing our lecture, there are students who really critically can't make it for the lecture, and we can't penalize them. You know, they may come with a valid answer that parents see or something like that. So we can have a session like we record or narrate our voice and we put it in our learning management. And they can even download it to their iPod or to their smartphone and they can listen it a few times. So this introduction is actually the overview of distance learning and also electronic learning, which most of us knew what is it about. And electronic learning is what fully have taken the whole era, the world, the training or the lecture, the teaching. But mobile learning is being quite young, right? And most of the people is that the smartphone itself or is anything that's mobile. It's actually anything that's mobile that is move with us, right? Like the phone, the tablet, even the laptop. Okay? So any sort of delivery that is done to the students. For example, e-learning is actually learner brought to the device to learn. But M-learning is the learning material brought to the students. So they have no complaints. They cannot say that the internet not working, I don't have laptop. Now, everybody in a survey in MC have done, people own more than 2 phones. Like the gadget is free and they have the ability to own the device. So, and learning is actually part of e-learning and also e-learning. So it inherits all the attributes that the e-learning is having. Right? And these are the definitions from other researchers. Most of them have said that it's the learning which occurs anywhere, by anybody, at any time. So there is no fixed location or fixed space for them to learn. And for higher learning institutions, this Parker in year 2011, he said it's still in the early stage of development. There are other universities in US have done the mobile learning as not only for teaching but also administration process, like taking attendance, to check their progress, to check the status of the students. And what I've come from analyzing the past literatures is a conceptual model which integrates the human aspect. The human who are integrating the mobile learning is actually the student and the academicians. They have to be ICT literate. That means they know what is computer about, how to use the technology. Digital literacy is advance of ICT. They know how to analyze and use the property, and they have the mobile technology to be using mobile learning, and they have information system and mobile technology itself. Now the models that I use to integrate the mobile learning is TANS, which is developed by Davis, 1989. Technology acceptance model is not only confined to information system, it's for everywhere. Any user acceptance. And then information success model is for information system. So when I gather these two, one is the usefulness, perceived ease of use and perceived usefulness, and the information system quality. The additional part that I've put in here is the mobile technology, where the technology is being an essential part for the mobile learning, in which the components are infrastructure and also technical system quality. Infrastructure is the availability of the technology is whatever that available to our smartphone. For example, Wi-Fi. The first thing I noticed when after coming to this hotel is a Wi-Fi available. Can I access to information on WhatsApp? Although we have data plan, we said like I want to see it. Can I use the free Wi-Fi? So it is the technology. Then we go ahead to other facilities such as this. The infrastructure here is what the institution can cater for the students. For example, the scalability, multiple users can be logged into the system, availability, when the students are actually using it 24/7 around the clock, and the feature which is synchronized and asynchronous learning. Then we have technical system quality. Here, the system quality refers here the accuracy, the efficiency of the information that is students are accessing for their mobile learning. So here, the performance of information system here for technical system quality, we are more on reliability, the functionality of the system, how convenient it is for the systems, for the students to access the system. So it's not only mobile learning in the university, but the students can use the better infrastructure and the technical system quality. That means the system is reliable, accurate, and functional. So, and the response time or download, the time taken for download is easier. Okay. So I'm at the end of my presentation. So here, mobile learning is not taking off the face-to-face learning. It's actually a supplement for our classroom traditional learning actually. So target is it will help or aid the students to learn the subject more, to be more indulged, to keep in touch with the lecturers more, than giving reasons that the LMS is not working, the LMS is, we can't see the content, things like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We open up with the question and answer. So any other question or improvement or suggestions to our presenter?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next week, I invite one Suhaina Saad, Miss Suhaini, sorry, Suhaini Saad, with the title of Unleashing the Creative Potential of Students through Augmented Reality. Okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon. I'm Wan Zuhaini Saad from the Department of Microbiology, Faculty of Biotechnology and Biomolecular Sciences, University Putra, Malaysia. So I'm here today to share actually what I've done with my students, what my students have used and have experienced in using most of it actually a Web 2.0 tool. I'm teaching microbiology, so let me ask you. Let's say if I say what about microbes, when I ask you about microbe, what is the first thing that crosses your mind?
Bacteria.
Sorry? Bacteria. What else? Gentleman behind? Molecular. Tiny things that you cannot see with your naked eyes, right? Okay. So this is first semester students, microbiology. First semester, that means they come in from diploma, from Asasi, from matrix, from Form 6, from school, right? So in the word of Einstein, I don't teach my students. I attempt to create an environment where they can actually learn. We can have like 99 slides, 2 hours with guling-guling and give lectures, right? We know how much that we taught, we teach, but actually, how do we know that they have learned? How much that they have learned, right? So, in doing this, students now they don't want to sit. They don't want to, they. In the earlier keynote by Prof. Karim also mentioned that they have very short retention time. They like to move around. They want to collaborate. They want to be able to communicate, to connect, right? So before I go on to the augmented reality, which has already been defined by Dr. Anita here from UiTM, I just want to give some overview why we do this, the exercise that we have done. I want my students to be able to explore, right? So they come into the lecture hall, they close the door, and I keep telling them, you are in the microbial world, microbiology, right? There is no elephant, no giraffe, no kangaroo, right? So only microbes. And then the first thing is to spike their curiosity, right? To instill their interest, right? So when they are curious, they will explore. When they explore, they learn, right? And I want them to master, and lastly, to be able to share after they able to create when they have learned. So again, they do not want to sit still and listen. They want to be able to walk around, move around, and because of their retention rate of very low retention rate, and so we do a lot of active learning. active learning strategies will actually enhance imagination and creativity. When they are engaged, right? When they are engaged, they are focused, they learn better. So in the words of Confucius actually, tell me and I forget. Show me and I remember, involve me and I understand. So we want them to be involved. When they are involved, we are emphasizing on learning by doing. Okay, so this is the Bloom taxonomy. This is the average retention time. If we just give lecture, they will like 5% only. But if they were, they teach others, peer teaching, and they, talk about it and discuss about it, right? We get 90%. So this is my class with my students with laptops. Every lecture is BYOD, bring your own device. There was one time I said BYON. BYON is bring your own notes. No, they come in with full, complete notes because due to the advancement level, right? And we do lots of discussion, activities, and we get ideas. Because the best way to get ideas, good idea, is to get lots of ideas. Let's say for this topic, even discuss with the students. Okay, what are we going to do about this topic? Very dry topic, so what are we going to do? Sometimes the students will give good idea that we can look into that and okay. So of course we do like offline things also. All these are the Web 2.0 crosswords, do a lot of formative assessment. And that's the habit that we're trying to develop also. We do not want our students to have, we do this, how many marks we get, right? And sometimes we give an example like video. Who give video for your students? Videos. And how do you know that they watch the video? You come in the next day and then you ask, how many of you watch the video? How many will answer? Maybe a handful. Some of them will even ask, is there a video? Right? So we want to make sure that, what we do a lot of the reflections. Okay? Macam earlier, one of the talks downstairs, reflective journal. Okay, so we reflect, we just to get some feedback from the students. Okay, do reflective journal. Okay, I'm usually heavy sleep in head, but who would sleep when you are given so much freedom to think and speak out of your mind in the class? Okay, so this started with this activity of the I have 100 students. Then I was thinking, what am I going to do with 101 students? So I created, we did this, showcase of microbiology ecology, just like a conference with 101 participants, right? So students are the organizing committee. Students organize the event with all the, sessions, poster session. So we exhibited and we invited lecturers from other faculties to be the judge. So this was in 2013. So now when we ask for a poster, students give more than a poster. They even prepare. So this is Q&A session during with the judges. Now when we ask for a poster, A1 poster, students even prepare props, right? So when they are interested, they do more. It will be very surprising, and unexpected commitment from the students. So this is in 2013. 2014, when the student came in, the first lecture was on Tuesday. So I was telling my students, just to see the background, right? First day lecture, first semester. Then I will ask the students, I would like you to create a video of yourself, telling us about yourself, introduce yourself, and tell us what you know about microbiology and what do you want to know about biology. And it will Tuesday class to be submitted on Friday. And after you have done the video, upload in the YouTube. Is a video, and then surprisingly on Friday, all of 50 of them submitted with beyond your expectation also. They give you a video and they add in all these Patch Adam movies, and they take shots about, oh, this is my look in the morning, my look in my face in the evening, you know, those kind of things. Just 2 minutes. And some of them even use Powtoon, you know, all these Web 2.0 too. From there, then we know thinking about those people like this September coming in, our students born in 1996, 1995, they are Gen Z students. Again, they come in with all these gadget and all. So we want to make use of the gadget, right? Simple task, photosynthesis, right? Do one video. And you see this, the video. Students have interest and commitment to do this, right? They spend time to do this. Or another subtopic, Timo Little Trophy. Right? The students spend time to do this and come up with a tool using Crazy and at the same time screencast. So from there, you know, students are very, very visual students. Or animate, right? Using Go Animate. And this is using Go Animate. Right? So came this semester, first semester student again. When I asked just now about what are microbes, a lot of them say that microbes cause disease, right? Cause disease, dangerous pathogens, right? So in order to change their mindset, we created a project called Thank a Microbe. So divided them into groups. This group will be in medical field, industry, agriculture. So each group is to find one microbe that give impact, beneficial impact to the application, if it is in medical or in develop a poster, an A1 poster to be presented in the faculty foyer. So this is the module that we prepared for this project, Thank a Microbe AR. And we gave them an examples of the apps that they can use to do the augmented poster. So they can choose without telling them what to do, you know, without showing them, oh, this is how you use the tool. No, we don't spend time doing that. They explore themselves. So they prepare the posters, they present in the audience, in the front of the judges. Since this is an augmented poster, right? So they prepare the video first. They prepare the video first before, that means they integrate the video with the posters. So when you move your mobile, right, you can actually, the video that they created will be shown on the mobile, just like the Tanita just now. So that's using Powtoon, right? Using Powtoon, that they develop themselves, the Powtoon. So you integrate with the image. So when you look at the poster, not only whatever written on the poster, but you get extra info, right? So all these actually develop their creativity. So either you use Powtoon, or this one is using Video Scribe, right, to do posters. Just now, the two posters just now was using Orasma. So when you use your Orasma, you just have to scan on the image that trigger the video. But for this one is Zapper. Zapper is licensed. This one you on trial only. Zapper, there is a code. So they combine all the video together, and it's like it's not 500 meters. It's like 20 meters here. Okay. So they combine all the video into one. I was the one who took the video, so very, amateur. So you prepare the video just by using your mobile devices, any mobile devices. So you see, lecture bachelors planted, and just now was bachelors in food, and then environment, right? Again, the same thing. Another Powtoon, right? They like to use Powtoon, animate, characters. They can also take video from YouTube. Okay, under the YouTube licenses, you still can use it online. You still use it. You cannot download. You cannot download YouTube videos, but you can use online. So this is actually online, right? This is about BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, a bacterium that is used as insecticide. This is on fermentation. Same thing also. So on that day, they were being judged. They prepared props without even asking them to do props. And the posters were judged using a rubric for augmented posters. And of course, you have to reflect on what you have done, right? And for example, I was glad that I chose to continue explaining my poster, even though the judges were gone. Because we did it in the foyer, so a lot of walk-in students. I saw many increased face which amazed result finding. I felt glad that I found the information was able to share. Many people should know about the new technology we're having now, which makes our life better than what we can imagine. So this is a first semester project. And last week, only last Friday, we did this. This one is under the course of microbiology. This project is called Life Without, designed so that each group will choose one habitat, because microbial ecology, we're talking about their habitat. Each group will choose one habitat and describe the microbial ecology there if there is no microbe, right? So they're supposed to do a documentary, like National Geographic documentary. They're supposed to interview experts, and they have to create an infographics with AR, with augmented reality also. And either infographics or another one is newsletter, right? Microbes in the news, with also augmented reality. So they have to prepare a documentary together with the AR video. And we invited school students to join us for this project. So you see there are newspapers and also posters, and they presented their video, the documentary. Okay. So we let the students try. And of course, for school students, this is something like, very interesting for them. And some more we are talking about, for example, like all degrading bacteria. Okay, so in the news, on the newspaper also, the students will use the AR, the augmented reality, using this one just use the Orasma. Very easy, user-friendly app to use for augmented reality, very easy to use. And in the hall, we do a lot of activities with the students. also we have school visits where the students also again exposed in the augmented reality session. We let the students try. This is a game card that was developed by the first semester student. A game card with augmented reality, right? That means when the students scan on it, like for example the symbol, all these symbols, right, to show that each group type of microbes. When the students scan on it, there is information about that particular group of microbes. Like say about fungus, then there is a video about that fungus information. But at the same time, it is a game card where they play like Uno. So I'm showing actually some of the what you can do. You can do a lot of things, right? With this app and augmented reality. So this is the slide where when you scan on it, the information will. So I bring them to last year to the National Carnival e-learning. And all this developed by the students. This is another game card. We call it A to Z microbe, right? A to Z microbe. So when the students scan on it, A for another a name of bacterium. So the information that they make, each letters will have their own AR video using Powtoon. And the big book of microbes, also using with augmented reality, also was developed. This one we didn't use any marker, just an image to trigger. Okay. The setback about this thing is you need to have an internet connection. And of course, you have to reflect, right? On the, how much actually we have developed the interest and how we can, how we can improve from here, and also what the students have learned and what they want to learn more, right? And lastly, we have also created what we call the micro amazing race. The amazing race where the students have to, let's say, for example, take a selfie, right, and all those things, and create an app smashing. Okay. So, and of course, reflects again from a video from a student. And of course, learning has supposed to be fun. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. We open up with the question and answer. Any other questions?
No question?
No questions?
Not interested, no?
Very interesting.
Yes.
Very app. So you use the app downloaded or
Yes.
App.
It's free for download. It's free to download.
You use that app.
Yeah, I mentioned just now Orasma. Yes. Sorry. You can have it in your phone. You can download in your phone, actually. It is the triangle. Yes, I think of one of it. Yes. You maintain student energy throughout your course. You have to have that energy. We want to have that, when they wake up in the morning and then they are excited to come to your class. Because I always have activity in my class in each lecture, not each topic, each lecture. So when I don't give anything to them for them to do, and then they will say, oh, what are we going to do tomorrow? Nothing to give, because they usually come prepared. So we give something for them to do before they come into class. That's why I asked just now, when you give a video, How sure are you that they watch the video? So we use add puzzle, for example. You add quizzes in between the video so that we know that they watch. And they have this learning analytics that we can see, we can track, oh, this student spend how much time on that particular question, for example, right? So you have to have that enthusiasm so that your students also, but again, the interests have to be developed, especially during first semester. We want to mold them so that they will not have, so that they will have the habit of doing without, everything have to be graded. Oh, I do this, how much, how many marks for this, right? So we do not want to have that kind of, we want to develop the habit of that. So I'm very blessed, I think, with all these students. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are very effective in unleashing the creative potential of students. Okay, for information, to have that level of creativity, especially in first year student, it's not an easy task. It needs somebody with the creativity, teaching pedagogy. Next, I invite with the next presenter. Next presenter, which is presented by Paradise, right? With the authors of Rafida Hood and Rosanna Muhammad Ali, with the title of the Flip Classroom and versus Traditional Lecture Format. Which one do students prefer?
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everybody. So I'll be continuing from Dr. Wanzohani's. So it's back to the real situation again. I have no videos and not so much of interesting activities. My name is Dr. Farida Idris from Department of Pathology, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, UPM, and will sharing a feedback from my students on Flip Classroom versus traditional lecture format. Which one do the students prefer? So these are the overview of my presentation. Okay, in medical education, what are the current situation and challenges? Since the Flexner report 100 years ago, 1910, this Abraham Flexner has come up with a commentary commenting about how was that medical education at that point of time. So he joined the Carnegie Foundation of Advancement for Education, and he did a survey around the medical school at that time and come up with a report. And that report has been like a turning point of the medical education. And he suggested that for the medical education in North America at that point of time, to somehow see the German model, so that with a strong biomedical evidence-based medicine and with hands-on clinical skills. And so he suggested that all those things will be held in the university, because at that point of time there are many private practitioners that offering medical education at that point of time. So one of the recommendation with the team standardization, integration, habits of inquiry and improvement, and all the identity formation. So from then on, Flexner report has been the turning point, and up until now, we are still very much the same as 100 years ago. So after 100 years, there are calls for reform of medical education by the Carnegie Foundation for the advancement of teaching, because now the things get more complicated, and medical training has been perceived as inflexible, overly long, and sometimes there is no connection between what they learn in class and how to
apply it in the clinical setting. So what are the current situation? The current situation, we have information overload. A lot of information is out there. And also the healthcare systems becoming more complex. Together with the patient, more in management plan, and there's also rapid growing of the pedagogical in terms of in education, and also the technology in education. So all these things, yeah, we very much the same as 100 years ago, in which lecture is the main bulk of our teaching method. Current students, we have been repeatedly said that currently our students have very less focus and also less attention. Cannot pay attention more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And after lecture, probably they will retain only 20% of what have been lectured. So change is inevitable. There are calls in recent literature that we need to go forward, we need to change in terms we teach our students, and one of the proposed is flipped classroom. It's in one of this journal, Lecture Halls Without Lectures, a proposal for medical education. This is from Stanford University. So Stanford had done a preliminary teaching method of flipped classroom, and it has quite interesting findings. So from this on, I thought I would like to implement the flipped classroom in my teaching. So as we all know, flipped classroom is flipping the class in which the homework now is done in the class in which the lecture has been taken out of the class, and the students will get to prepare themselves before coming to class. And it has been also shown that there are the advantages, such as it can engage the learners and it can promote higher order thinking skills. So the current trends in the couple of years in literatures, there are more and more medical and allied health professional courses that implement this flipped classroom approach, in which they bring out the lectures from the lecture halls, and then when they have activity in class, they will do it with other approach, either team-based learning or peer instruction or online quiz or any other interactive features. So the results from that have been mixed results in terms of improvement of knowledge and skills. Some say that there are improvement in knowledge. Some say it's about the same, from whether it's a traditional classroom or whether it's a flipped classroom. Perception, generally, it is being positively received by the students, but some of the students still don't like the change. So having all this, so I decided to try flipped classroom in my teaching. So my aims are to compare preclinical medical students' perception on the flipped classroom approach and the traditional lecture format, and to determine their preferences. So I teach medical students, biomedical students, and nursing students in hematology module, something about the blood, and particularly I'm teaching about transfusion medicine, blood transfusion, blood banking. In my module, in our module, we have shared teaching. We don't own that module. For example, I teach SPP 3311. I have shared teaching with 5 other friends. So I can only flip my class, which have four lectures. So this I flip class for year 1 medical students in hematology module in our faculty, and then the instruments that I use is the questionnaire to see before and after class what is their perception. So my process of flipping my classroom is, before the module start, I will inform the students on my approach will be different from my other colleagues. And one thing that I always emphasize is you are responsible of your own learning. So and then I create class in LMS. I choose a model because I found it easier for me, because I don't find my in-house Putra LMS works for me. So I create class in in Edmodo, and then I upload the learning materials. I recorded my lectures. I upload it in Edpuzzle, and I monitor. I ask them to register, sign up, and I monitor if they had see the lectures, because Edpuzzle gives us the liberty to see, to monitor whether they have, how many of them had completed viewing the lecture, and also I can embed questions in between the lecture, in between that video. So I upload it at least 1 month before my class, and I always remind my student inside the Edmodo. So during the class, I will entertain any questions. I also prepare a Padlet wall so that if they have any questions, they will, if they don't want to ask it in Edmodo, they can ask me through the Padlet wall. So usually before class, I will see whether they have any questions. So I will prepare the answers and we will discuss it during our Q&A session during the class face to face. And I do online quizzes. Last time I used Infuse Learning because we have a big class. Socrative only can cater around 40 students, but Infuse Learning unlimited. And then I also use Poll Everywhere, but Poll Everywhere I need to make them into groups, and also use Kahoot. It's a gamification kind of Web 2.0 tools. And after that, I also give them the questionnaire before they start their class, my class. Then at the end of my module, they will answer the question again. So the results, out of 113 for the pre-flipped classroom, the response rate is about 73.4%. And I know that my students, most of them, my students use laptop and smartphone. I think most of them at least have these two gadgets, not so much of tablet. And a majority of them dependent on Wi-Fi and also to a certain extent on broadband. About 26% have data plan, but when I always ask them, is there any problem? They don't want to use their data plan, of course, because they want to save their money. So usually they heavily rely on our Wi-Fi in the faculty. They are familiar with Putra LMS, and a lot of them also familiar with Edmodo because other courses such as English course also use Edmodo, but they are not familiar with Moodle or other LMS. So they are still think that they learn by listening to lecture. Even though around 30%, 32% say they are not sure whether they do better in learning by listening to the lecture or not. But a little bit more than half say that they prefer to read notes rather than lectures, listening to lectures. 1/3 still not very sure what they like, I think. I like to participate in class activities. Well, around 60%, they say they would like to participate. 36% are not very sure. And most of the students either they don't read, they didn't read textbook and notes first before coming to class, or they are neutral. For me, if they're neutral, they say they don't read before coming to class. So, have you heard about flipped classroom before? I'm quite surprised to see 73% of them have heard about the flipped classroom. This is probably because I have done it before with my biomedical students and nursing students, which happens earlier in the semester. Because they are in the second semester. I taught student biomedical and nursing students in the first semester. So probably they heard it from their friend. So when I asked, do you believe your learning will be affected if lectures are replaced by comprehensive notes and lecture time is replaced with group discussion and Q&A session? Almost half of them say it will affect their learning, even though 24% they are not sure. So I think probably a proportion of the students will want to wait and see first before they want to decide. So would you like to be taught by recorded lecture, video or podcast instead of having lecture in class? Well, about a proportion, the same proportion, about 40% will say yes and the other will not sure. So for me, I think that there is always a possibility they will like to have recorded video as long as we make it interesting. So in your opinion, this one is before I feed my class, before my lecture start, my teaching start, which of the following you would prefer most? So at that point of time, 25% say probably they will prefer flipped, majority, and half of them is not sure about what they will prefer. 22% still they think they will prefer lecture. So what did I know about my students before flipping my class? So I know most of them have laptops or smartphone, and they are heavily dependent on Wi-Fi. They still like to listen to the lecture. Some of them would like to have some activities in class, and most of them did not read notes or books before coming to class. So about the flipped classroom, majority of them have heard about it, but quite a significant proportion say if they don't have lecture in class, it will affect their learning. So with that ideas, I just continue my flipping my classroom with all those activities that I have planned to be done inside my classroom. And after flip classroom, after all my teaching has completed, I asked them to answer a survey again. Now the response rate is 89%. So I asked them how many times they're checking their Edmodo. Majority of them at least once a week or two to three times per week they will check their Edmodo. And percentage of students during the recorded lectures before coming to class, most of them will see the lecture one because I have 4 lectures. So every lectures I uploaded in Edpuzzle. So, but towards the end, not as many as the first, not as many as the students will view the recorded lecture in comparison to the lecture number 1. Some of them did not see the lecture, view the recorded lectures before coming to class. Some of them view it halfway. So when I asked what are the major problems in viewing the recorded lectures, most of them asking about, telling about Wi-Fi connection because our Wi-Fi in our faculty is not very good. In their hostel also, they don't have Wi-Fi in their hostel. So besides that, they also have problem in their time management. How did you find the content of the recorded lecture? Most of them find it is useful, and also the task given in the recorded lecture, because sometimes I ask them to find out something and ask them to answer quiz within the recorded lecture itself, and most of them find it useful. And also the activity in the class, they find it useful. And I also give them interactive notes. Interactive notes meaning the notes similar that what I have put up inside in my PowerPoint in my recorded lecture, but I give them like fill in the blank. So they really have to listen and then to see the video, then the points that they need to jot down in that fill in the blanks in my notes. So they find it useful also. 65% of them think that the flipped classroom approach can improve their learning compared to the special lecture format. But when coming whether which one they prefer most, 25% will answer they prefer flipped classroom. The 22% still prefer lecture. About 20% they're still not sure. If we compare the preference, we see there are increment from the 25% who think they will love the flipped classroom and will prefer the flipped classroom before the class. Now it has increased to 45%. The lecture group maintain the same. Probably these are the hardcore lecture. They really like lectures. The not sure one has reduced from 52 to 20%. So I guess probably the group of the not sure students has choose to like flipped classroom. So generally, most students found that the recorded lecture content, the interactive notes and class activities are useful for their learning. And there are also 20% increment of students who prefer flipped classroom than traditional lecture after flipped classroom have been commenced. So in the literature, there are survey of the research of the flipped classroom. They say generally perception of students towards the flipped classroom are positive, but some few students are strongly opposed and dislike this change. And students, when supplied with the video, are better prepared when compared to where the students are only given notes. And students may not complete reading assignment. This is a general statement which I think is true in my situation also. Some studies also shows that students prefer live in-person lectures to video lectures, but also like interactive class time. For medical courses, in the literature, generally there are positive perception of flipped classroom, but mainly reported in clinical years and also postgraduate students. Not so much in the literature reported about the preclinical students. The advantage of the flipped classroom in the literature in terms of medical course is it can improve their knowledge transfer, and they perform better because of the better exam results. And the students who are involved in the flipped classroom are more open to project and tasks, and they like it because of the individualized education for them and their flexibility, and also the better use for face-to-face time. But in one of the pharmacy undergraduate studies on by Terry et al., these subjects are quite similar with us because they teach basic sciences, pharmacology, and therapeutic class, and they make it a 1 week long pilot project, and they found that exam score was significantly higher in flipped classroom compared to lecture alone, especially for pharmacology and therapeutic class, but not so much on the basic sciences class. But the satisfaction and positive feedback did not increase with the improved exam scores. So as low as 13% of them only like the flipped classroom. Even though the exam score are good, but they actually does not like the change so much. In IMU School of Pharmacy also have done a survey on the flipped classroom, and they have positive results, 60%. 60% still prefer face-to-face lecture compared to iLecture inside the recorded one. And they are using poll everywhere in online quiz step 2.0 tools. And they like it very much because they think they help them to increase their understanding of the key concepts. And 79% felt the flipped classroom inspired them learning of the subject. And 62% agree they preferred flipped classroom approach. One study in nursing program, undergraduate nursing program, they found that if they use flipped classroom, the exam score are higher than the lecture only, but they are more satisfied with lecture only than flipped classroom. When they ask further, because they say it's required more work, less perception of the value of interactive learning approaches. So the author said probably even the student's perception does not really indicate the learning, because the exam score are actually much better in flipped rather than lecture only. Even though I don't like it, but the exam score is better. This is quite interesting to explain why certain students do not like flipped classroom. In his PhD research in 2007, students with flipped classroom approach were less satisfied with how the structure of the classroom oriented them to the learning task in the course, because they are so familiar with the traditional lecture format. They know what to expect. They come to class, they just listen, probably take notes. But the variety of the learning activities in the flipped classroom contributed to the unsettledness. They don't feel comfortable with that change compared to what they have familiar in the traditional classroom students experience. So the author said the comfortability of the students will determine whether they will participate or whether they will resist to towards completing the activities. So the author also suggests that probably not every subject we can flip. Probably heavy subject that need really explanation of a certain concept, you still need to do a lecture. So according to Strayer in 2007. So in conclusion, less than half of year 1 medical students preferred flipped classroom compared to the traditional lecture format. Anyhow, there is a 20% increment compared before the flipped classroom approach was done. 1/5 of the students still prefer traditional lecture method, and flipped classroom is feasible for pre-clinical medical course teaching. So the limitation of my study is other lecturers with the model still using the traditional lecture format. So probably they find it like, why suddenly a change, a drastic change from one lecturer to another lecturer within the same module. And no exam score was done to compare, to ensure that actually the flipped classroom improved learning objectively, and the internet connection is not very good. That's why sometimes in my class face-to-face classroom session, when there is no internet, I need to improvise how I handle the class. Recommendation is to further training for both students and lecturers on the flipped classroom. Like Dr. Wan Zohainis mentioned, there are first semester students. They are very much spoon-fed during their entire school days and during their asasi and matriculation, and they sometimes do not realize that the learning is actually their own responsibility. So I think we need to repeatedly remind them that they also have responsibility on their own learning, and improve other recommendation, improve internet connection, and also commitment from our institution and organization to support innovation in teaching and learning environment, a dedicated e-learning unit and support staff, because sometimes we have problems inside the lecture, the internet line, the projector and things, and web to subscription, because pool everywhere, for example, like pool everywhere, only can capture 40 response for free. More than that, you have to subscribe and incur some cost. And some schools do subscribe so that the whole students can participate in the poll everywhere. Okay, these are my references, and I would like to thank my co-researchers, and all the photos used are licensed under Creative Commons Public Domain or share alike. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're going for question and answer. Any questions or any suggestions to improve the study? I think we need to be fast again with the last presentation from your talk, Mamun bin Ibni Lies, with the title of Online Education and Management Toward a Paperless Environment in UKM. Title of Online Education and Management Toward a Paperless Environment in UKM.
Yeah.
Okay. I think oh.
Yes, so I have transport everything. Then how
Thank you.
for what? But Kahoot is unlimited. Correctors. I know what is not together. So basically for at the same time.
set it up.